We good? Today's shiur is dedicated to Nishmat Larissa Bat Mahmal of the Akilo family. Ruach Hashem tenechena began Eden. Hen bechol benot Yisrael shachot imach. Vichlal harachamim v'selichot v'chen yirah ratzon v'nomar. Amen. And in her kavod, the son Aka Yosef John asked Rabbi John, last time you told us about a certain halakha. Is it an halakha or is it just a recommendation about people going to the cemetery? Is it a good thing to do? Is it a bad thing to do? How often should people go to cemetery? Or it's something you should try to avoid as much as possible? And what are the conditions? All these type of things. So you should know, Rabotai, that all the secrets we know about the neshama is coming from the words of the Arizal HaKadosh. Nobody has the right to say, oh, neshama is going to go this way or going to go that way, or shedim are going to happen to you this way, or chas v'shalom happen to you, or cause to you that thing. Nobody has the right in Judaism to make up whatever they want when it comes to the concept of neshama. Neshama, nefesh, ruach, chilaveka, the person's neshama, nefesh, ruach, it's all in the hands and the explanations of the words of the Arizal. Because only they know what is happening in the upper worlds, in Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, the four spiritual worlds that we have, Gan Eden, Gehenom, levels of Gan Eden, levels of Gehenom. So, do not believe any person that will tell you something about Nefesh Ruach Shamash of a person, unless it's showed to you in the words of the Arizal. The Arizal HaKadosh, and this is not my words, it's the words of all the rabbis, Ashkenazim and Sfaradim, that Arizal was the top, was the king, when it comes to this topic about the neshama and what happens to the neshama if a person passes away, etc. Now, I'm reading for you from the book of Rabbi Meir Eliyahu that brings the words of the Arizal. It's in Merkavot Argaman, volume Vav, 6th volume. If somebody's going to ask you, Rabbi John, Agjogriftet Vagav, I'm telling you the source. Volume Vav, Merkavot Argaman, page 76, Ayin Vav. And he writes like this. Says the rabbi, he brings the words of the Arizal in Shara Ichudim in chapter 4. And he says that when a person is going to the cemetery, there is sakana, there is a danger to him. He puts himself in a big danger because cemetery, it's a place that gathering all the demons are over there. You know, all the gangsters are in the certain parts of New York. I don't want to mention names, not to put the real estate down on that areas, but you guys know already where the gangsters are. There are certain parts that you know where the rich people are. I don't want to mention that also. The real estate is already high over there. There are certain places that all the demons are. Where is that place that all the demons saying this is their club? Cemetery. And that's what it's called, Bet HaKvarot. Says the Arizal in Shara Ichudim, chapter Perek Daled, Nefashot HaReshaim asher nichretu velo alu limkomam. When a person, God forbid, violates the laws of Torah that has karet in it. Torah is broken down to 4 parts. Hashem said do it, mitzvat aseh. Hashem said don't do certain things, mitzvat lo ta'aseh. For example, say Shema Israel, right? We spoke about this, that a person has to say Shema Israel every single morning up to a certain time. Ladies have to pray every single day. There is no time limit. She can pray once a day, doesn't matter when. Shacharit, Mincha, Arvit, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, in the Knanis Kaneso, at home, in whatever she at, she's obligated once a day to pray. No matter she's extra religious or she's not extra religious. It's an obligation to pray once a day for ladies, for men 3 times a day. If God forbid, a person violated one of the positive commandments, he made Avera. But this Avera is on this level, Aseh. There's a higher level than that, Lo Ta'aseh. Hashem says, do not do certain things. For example, Hashem says, do not cheat on your wife, Lo Tinaf, right? Lo Tignov, do not steal, do not kill, all this, don't do. Do not eat non-kosher. One of the things that right now during Adar, which is the peak of the problem, is Kemach Yashan. If a person is not eating Kemach Yashan, he should know one of the 5 grains, wheat, barley, spale, rye, and oats. One of the 5 grains, they are in our products. Budget liquor, cereal, pasta, bread, whatever it is, it's going to be in that products. That's not allowed for us to eat by Torah. Когда покупаете лепешки домой, pizza, right now you're buying, right, cookies, this chalpak, people do for Leilu Nishmat, has to make sure that it's going to be Kemach Yashan. Now, until Pesach is coming, all the products that came out from the ground from last Pesach are not kosher. Only the ones that came from the last Pesach before that, they are kosher. That's what's called Yashan. Every Yashan, Stari. What is Stari? Before Pesach, before the last Pesach. On kasher, когда Pesach пришел, it became kosher. So all the products that came from the ground, all the 5 grains, barley, spelt, rye, oats, and rye and wheat, one of those 5, if they are in our food, you're not allowed to eat it. Unless Pesach passed over it. Torah says after you're going to bring Korban Pesach, it becomes allowed to you. Nowadays we don't have Korban Pesach. We have to wait until the first day of Pesach is going to pass, then it becomes allowed. Now what if a person didn't keep this law? He goes to Cancun, he goes to Cancun, whatever it is, different places in the world. Rabbi, kasher, oh kasher. Kakoy tam Dom John says that it's kasher and it's not kasher. It's OU. You know what OU is? Sometimes it's OU. You have to be careful sometimes because they don't have kashrut of kemach yashan. They don't have that standard, unfortunately. So a person right now goes and he eats chas v'shalom such a thing. He violated lo ta'aseh. Hashem said, "Ni kushet, svinya tzivin nilzeh kushet." He didn't listen. He ate it. He damages his neshama on the second level. Says the Ari, there is a third level called karet. If a person, God forbid, breaks Shabbat, if a person, God forbid, eat chametz on Pesach, birot chleb, kushet chametz. This is my chai or this is my chai?
That's yours.
This one? ברשות מוריי ורבותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. That it says the third level called karet. Lady doesn't go to mikveh and the man touches her, God forbid. This is karet. Men being with goya, there is a karet on the Rabbanan level. There is such a thing called karet. V'chetu hanefashot. There's a lot of ways. There is karetot, 18 of them nowadays. Mishnah says 36. Nowadays there's only 18 applicable because many of them have to do Bet HaMikdash. Going to the Yerushalayim. Do you know in Yerushalayim we have the Western Wall? Behind the Western Wall, some people have a tourist tour. According to Jewish law, you're not allowed to go there because you have to have ashes of the red cow. If you don't have that, you all tameh. You're not allowed to go there. And some people see kukuli, well, the other people have kalpok, some people have bechor's kalpok also, and they go over there with beards and everything, making avera.
What if you didn't know that?
Okay. So that's avera categories. A woman doesn't go to mikveh na premier, ni daibo. Amushin yotroget, ni lo alenu. Or he's eating chametz on Pesach, or he's breaking Shabbat, et karet, eating Kippur, et karet. So that's the third level. The fourth level is mitat bedin. Not only that there is a karet that cuts off the Jewish neshama from the Jewish, from God, there's a highest level. It breaks laws that the bedin will kill that person. Yeta adin is nich Shabbat, or all sekila, serefa, herek, bachenek, all the stoning, choking, burning, and cutting off the head, beheading the head. Those are the 4 highest levels of the death of bedin. Comes the Arizal and says, what happens to the neshama that breaks the third level? That's called karet. Na'ivrit tichota karet, cut off. Look what happens to this. Akai Yosef, listen carefully. You will pass it over to Mr. Normato. All this is without tshuva. When a person does teshuvah, he's able to rectify everything. There is nothing that stands in front of the tshuva. Person made avera, he can make regret, confess, accept on the future, I'm not doing this anymore. Kippur will pass. Certain things, suffering you'll have to go through, or accept on yourself suffering, going to prayer earlier, learning Torah, extra hours, giving donation, extra amounts, something that is going to be hard for you, and you're going through the suffering, you're cleaning other suffering you had to go to clean the sins you have done, a person have done. Says the Ari, when a person goes to the cemetery, what type of neshamot there is in the cemetery? That we said, demons, that's the cloud for the demons.
All type.
Listen to what he says. בוא שב לידי, תראה בפנים. היינו נפשות הרשעים אשר נחרטו, the רשעים that their neshama get karet, ולא עלו למקומם, and they're not able to ascend back to Gan Eden, back to עולם הבא. What I said right now, in English. All the neshamot that got cut off, they violated the issue of נחרטו, ולא עלו למקומם. They got cut off and they're not able to ascend back to their origin, back to עולם הבא. So where are they going? וסביב יתהלכון להזיק כל מי שמגיע לשם. It says they are waiting to enter back into a body. But they're not allowed to go into a body whenever you are in your territory. But once you go to their territory, you said this is our territory. Yes, mi boss. When a person is going over there, a lot of times is exposed to this type of demons that it wants to go inside a person.
Only from Karet.
He says, who are those demons? Those are the neshamot of the people that buried over there that were not shomer mitzvot. That they are violated isurei karet. Their neshama got cut off. They're not able to ascend. When a person died, since he's linked to Hashem, when he dies, the neshama goes back to its link, to its origin. Akaret shel exdil karet nidai bo. He violated the laws of karet. He cut off that link. So he says, when he dies, what happens to him? He says the neshama cannot ascend. So the neshama suffers. The neshama has to do something with herself. Either go upstairs, she cannot. Where's the second option? Go inside a person and try to make a rectification, make tikkun for the mistakes they've done. Now this person has already a neshama. That extra neshama walks in and bothers this neshama. Wow. And bothers with all the mindset, with all the shtuyot, with all the problems carried throughout the life, goes inside that person. And suddenly a person that loved his wife so much, he had such a good relationship with people, he becomes so edged up. He becomes so angry. He becomes so different. He said, listen, what happened to me? I feel I'm a different person. I don't understand. Where is it coming from? Probably I didn't sleep well last night. That's why. Probably I'm not exercising well. Probably I'm not doing this right. Maybe I should change my diet. Maybe I should do this. Says the Arizal, all this, it's a secondary thing. You know what's the primary thing that you change your mindset? That suddenly you edged up, you went to the cemetery. And once you went to the cemetery, says the Ari, "Vesaviv ithalechun lehazik kol mi sheyagia lesham." Any person goes inside there, he says, they're trying to lahazik, they're trying to go inside that person and chas v'shalom hurt that person.
How do you protect yourself?
ואפילו אם עבר מזמן הקבורה 1,000 שנים. And even he says, you go to a cemetery 1,000 years old. You would think that already 1,000 years ago, they're not there anymore. Says the Arizal, I have news for you. Even after 1,000 years, you're going to go to a cemetery that was over there, Reshaim are buried. The bad demons are still located over there waiting for somebody to get inside him and hurt him. גם אם אז יישאר, אז גם יש להיזהר, כיוון שאפשר עדיין לא הגיעה השעה של אותה קליפה להתבטל מן העולם. Says the Arizal, even 1,000 years. Imagine you go to right now to the grave of Antiochus. They say that they found the grave of Yoshka, you know?
Really?
Yeah, they say they opened it, they revealed it. Sheker. Rabbi over here says that we clearly know where Yoshka is buried. Totally different than whenever the Christian says.
Wow.
And who revealed it to us? The Arizal.
Wow.
The Arizal used to walk in Eretz Israel, used to say, over here buried so and so, over there buried so and so, over there buried so and so. He knew. Wow. Arizal knew what happens, everything upstairs, downstairs, simultaneously.
X-ray.
And this is not one person testifies that. The whole Jewish world says Arizal is a king. Hasidim, Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, Sesag Lashaitza. This is one of the things we have no machloket about. Everything we argue about. This is one of the things, no argument. Everybody agree, Arizal king. When it comes to Neshamot, he lived very, very short life. 37, 39, some say. 30. He went to Olam Haba. Because of a question that Reb Chaim Vital asked him, and he was not allowed to deny his questions. And he told him, we had made a mistake asking me such a question, but I'm not allowed to say no to you. I will answer a question, by next week I'm going to be dead. Wow. That's what happened.
That was a student.
That was So he says, the days of Maran, and he lived in Tzfat. He says, you know where Yoshka is buried? North part of Tzfat. Israel, Tzfat, you ever been? North part of that, that's where Yoshka is buried. And he said, be careful not to walk. That's how he revealed it. He says, because this person is such a Rasha, he brought so much problems to the world. He died more than 2,000 years ago. He says, still, the demons are around this grave. Don't go next to that grave. Wow. 2,000 years. כיוון שאפשר עדיין לא הגיעה השעה של אותה קליפה להתבטל מן העולם. וממילא עדיין יש לה כוח ויכולת להזיק. Still that קליפה, that bad energy says around that grave, is able to still hurt. ועניין זה רשעי ישראל, והיינו אומות העולם. היינו רשעי ישראל והיינו אומות העולם. והיינו כל מה שכתבנו לך עד כאן. He says, and don't think, oh, this is Jewish. Probably his neshama is holy. He said, no. The fact that he did not keep the mitzvot, he violated the laws that has karet in them. As I told you, the third level of the mitzvot. He says they get cut off from the Jewish link, from the Jewish link. All the Jewish people are linked upstairs. whenever a person violates karet, nidai b'chotat link, rejit. He cuts off that link. And whenever he dies, neshama cannot go back to its origin. GPS signal lost. He doesn't know where to go.
No Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi, no GPS, no Bluetooth, nothing.
Because the neshama is immortal, forever.
Forever.
Eternal.
After he finished this job over here, wants to go back to its origin. Akuda Paitzi. What's the address? Where's the GPS? Got cut off. That's what he says, one of the meanings of the meaning karet. ש"ס הוא קטע מויג'ון, נכון? כל כך הרנית לו זה במגור וסטולי. נגעה בני אדם. It says second, who are the other demons that over there, located over there, are demons that men brought to the world, or women brought to the world, by damaging the Brit Milah. When a person is taking out from his body the seed, the zera, lo alenu lo alechem, and he goes into not the proper way. Not the proper way means not in the front of his wife. If he goes other directions, chas v'shalom, it's called a batala. And even in the front, you have to be careful not to do it with a rubber. He has to make sure that if he needs contraceptives, he needs to do contraceptives. So he has to, there's kosher contraceptives. If you don't want your wife to get pregnant, it's okay. You have to ask a rabbi to get permission for that. But nevertheless, you're not allowed to use a condom. If a person is using such a thing, he's 100% doing zera lebatala. He's spilling into a rubber. He's not spilling into his wife. So in the front, so you make his big avera. Says all this has millions of neshamot right now. How many seeds there is in one time? You know?
Neshama is seeds. It's not
Millions of neshamot.
All of them.
How many of them are over
They're
there?
just not physical.
Very much.
No body.
So a person chas v'shalom doing act with his wife, with his own wife. On shnei zinil sachupa kituv sho pravilna. Everything the right way. But he's being with his wife and he's not doing it according to halacha. Ana mikvu bashla. Everything is the right way. Just whenever he has relations with her, chas v'shalom, he's doing it in a non-kosher way by putting a rubber. You understand what it is in English? Now this you understood. Okay. So he says this, לא כל אדם ראוי והגון להשתתחות הנ"ל, והסיבה הוא כי אין לך אדם שלא יצא ממנו טיפת זרע לבטלה, אשר מהם נוצרים בחינת המזיקים. He said those are also neshamot that came to the world and they have no body. Why? Because you spilled it in the rubber, because you spilled it somewhere else, you spilled it in your underwear, you spilled it somewhere, you didn't do it the kosher way. So those neshamot came here. Agde tzela. There is no body. Where are they going? Part of the club, in the cemetery. They are going to the cemetery. This is the words of the Arizal. I'm reading to you word for word from him. הנה אם האדם ההולך שם, אפילו במקרה שלא בכוונה, מדבקים בו. So what if a person passed next to the cemetery, he did not know it's a cemetery? Some old places you would not know. Not all places have tombstones on top. I was in Poland not too long ago. There is a new cemetery, Jewish cemetery, and there's the old one. In the old one, when the Nazis came, they flipped the whole cemetery upside down. Wow. They came with tractors. They said that all the Jewish people want to pray whenever Nazis and all the problems start. They want to pray by the tzaddikim. So the Nazis want to break the spirit of the Jews. Besides killing them, they want to break their spirit. So they saw that all the Jews go to pray by the cemetery, they came with tractors. Tractor, not in English, yeah? But excavators, yeah? Come, flip the whole cemetery upside down. When I was over there, you see part of the tombstones are half in the ground. Some of them are flipped, some of them are broken, everything, kashamalash, everything over there. Some people don't know where they're sorted tzaddikim, written in the books, they're buried here, they're buried there. They don't know where are they buried right now. They got lost. Their Tzion got lost. One of the great tzaddikim, they said that they continued doing it, and they came all the way to Rabbi Elimelech Milizhinsk. He says when they came over there, they saw that the Jews went over there to pray. They said, this guy, we're going to have to undig. We're not going to come with the excavator. We're going to undig him out. Wow. As the story says, the legend, I don't know how you call it. Yeah, the story says that they come and undigging the ground. And as they open the grave, it was a tzaddik that lived more than 300 years ago.
The body is the same.
Body was 100% preserved. And whenever the Germans saw such a thing, they say, what a holy man. They got so scared and they run for their lives. And they stopped to making balagan in the cemetery. But everybody around him, everything is flipped. Everything is with the excavator. If you're ever going to go to Rabbi Elimelech Milizhinsk over there, you'll see there's piles of tombstones, mamash prosta, one on top of each other. They don't know where to place them, where their bodies are. Everything is kasha malasha over there, because of the Nazi machshimam. The only one we know is Rabbi Elimelech Milizhinsk. The story says that his body was never touched, was never moved, because the Nazi was afraid, was scared from such a holy tzaddik. So he says that in these places, let's say you're going to go to a place, he says, you didn't know there's a cemetery here. Tell the truth, I didn't know the first time I was over there. If they wouldn't have like this domik, this house on top of his, you wouldn't know. It's like a park area. When I went over there inside, you see on the side there's piles of tombstones. I asked the guy, I said, listen, what is all these things? I didn't know. Elijah, not standing, laying down. I said, what is all this? It's all the way there, far. You cannot like differentiate. It's like in the middle of a forest. I said, all these are tombstones of the people that buried over here. We don't know who was buried over here. And they have a line saying Kohanim cannot cross this line. The burial site is over there. Maybe, I'm not joking, maybe more than that distance of this entire synagogue. Kohanim, don't cross this line. Because maybe over here, when you walk, people are buried over there. They don't know.
Rabbi,
Out of the Safek.
does the same damaging effects of the cemetery when you're visiting tzaddikim? You're visiting.
Yeah, hold on. We're talking about tzaddikim. Just come. I have 20 minutes. Hopefully, I'm going to get to everything. Less questions, more coverage. You know the rule, Bechor. The guy called the insurance company, asked a lot of questions. So the guy on the line told him, less questions, more coverage. So he told him right now, he says, and you should know that all these demons are able to get pregnant in you. Bechor, do you know you can get pregnant? You can get pregnant. Men, can they get pregnant? Do you know that? Spiritually. Suddenly, he says, the person's mind became devona. Suddenly. Rabotai, if I would read that and I would not see that, I wouldn't believe it. 2-3 months ago, Bukharian boy was 20 years old. His relative is over there in the Bedin. And he asked Rabbi Ben Chaim, please, Rabbi, I need to bring my relative over here. Already 9 or 10 years. Regular boy, normalny человек 100%. Became 180 degrees Davona. And they asked what happened to him. He says he was Kohen. He was not observant so much at that time, and he went to the cemetery. He said something got into him in the cemetery. 8-9 years today, this Bechora boy is mama in front of our face. Bechori attack is Pugalsia. He's big, strong like Chaval al-Azman strong. The father is trying to hold him. He falls and he starts shaking like seizure attack.
At the cemetery?
And it was a health. No, in the Bedin, he came to a rabbi, went to bless him, to a certain tikkun to him. So they brought him inside the room privately to try to do it. Suddenly I hear boom. Well, I got so scared. I walk in, so I see a guy on the floor like this laying and he's shaking. I said, what happened to this? What happened after I asked? He said it was 100% healthy boy. One day he says he goes to the cemetery and something got into him. He said, wow, look how the words of the Arizal, my own eyes saw how emet it is. That is not prostatak.
Did they fix it?
ולכן, says Arizal, אין ראוי ללכת לבית הקברות. Be extremely careful not to go over there, to the cemetery. אם לא לצורך מצוות, הלוויית המת וקבורתו. Unless you're going there for a purpose of a mitzvah, which is burial at the levaya. When is the only time a person should go to the cemetery, says Arizal? For a mitzvah of burying a person.
Completing your minyan.
That's the only time you're supposed to go there.
So complete minyan? Let's go.
No, you complete minyan.
They leave you alone.
Go over there for and ve'alevai. And says Arizal, and I wish that the mitzvah you're doing right now, burying that person, that mitzvah, I wish, says Arizal, alevai, will protect you from the damage. Means even once you're busy with the mitzvah, you still can be exposed to the damage.
Still.
It says, and I wish, alevai in Hebrew means I wish, that damage that is over there should not affect you.
So if they need minyan, go or don't go?
So I'm minyan for what? For burial.
To say Kaddish. Is it your side?
That's the mistake people do, says Arizal.
Don't go.
Extreme big mistake, he says.
Wow.
The more you will go to this type of places, the more exposure you put yourself around.
Only burial, that's it.
The only time. I'm reading to you again. ולכן אין ראוי ללכת לבית קברות. It says, be extremely careful not to go לבית קברות, אם לא לצורך מצוות קבורת המת. Unless you're going over there for burial.
That's it.
And even then, I wish, says Arizal, הלוואי, that they should not bother you. Those demons should not go into you. הוא ממשיך בפרט אם האדם ההוא גם לא נטהר. He says, especially, גם אם לא נטהר ולא תיקן הנגעים אשר לו. So especially if you are the reason those demons are there. If you damage your brit milah, if you caused зера לבטלה, когда ты ошибку сделал с брит мила, налево направо гулял. And this, Habibi, all these demons over there are yours. So it says, especially if they are over there, they are going to eat your life. So how do I separate myself from them? He says, listen what he says. If you ever did mistake, he says, you have to shab b'tshuva aleim. So if you didn't do tshuva for tikkun brit, for the mistake you damage your brit, ki bevadai idabku bo midei ovo bebet kvarot. Says the Arizal, guarantee I'm giving you that if you're going to go over there and you are the reason they are there, those demons, guarantee they're going to come back into you. Bevadai in everything. What does bevadai means?
For sure.
Guarantee that those demons are going to go inside the person that caused them to be there. Бехорджон, это не только если они гуляют. Мы должны тоже думать, когда мы гуляли. Да, вот это он говорит. Если вы сделаете тикун для этого, then your chances are like other people's chances of getting hurt. But if you are the reason they are there and didn't do full tikkun abrit, guarantee says you're going to get harmed.
А что если Микро пошел до этого?
Mikveh is not the only tikkun abrit. No. You have to do tikkun abrit, he says. Tikkun abrit is not a joke.
А если он сказал хатат, я выйду пошел?
That's not enough.
Не получается.
That's not enough. You have to do right now, Shovavim was. All the 6 weeks, it was Shovavim, Tikkun HaBerit. 6 Aliyah, when I tell Rabotai, 6 Aliyah, Tikkun HaBerit, it's not a joke. 6 Aliyah, Tikkun HaBerit, it's not a joke. People think it's a sell, how do you call it? Gimmick.
Pitch.
Sell, pitch, gimmick, all this type of thing. I'm telling you what's written in the books. Last week was the third Aliyah had Parashat HaMenorah. The menorah, we spoke about how to build it. And it's written in a book that whoever goes to this Aliyah gets extra chokhmah. Because the menorah is representing the wisdom. No. The price over here, Baruch Hashem, went very high.
How much?
I remember, it was high. The guy before Shabbat asked me, Rabbi, this Shabbat, which is the best Aliyah? What the Shabbat который был? I told him the 6th Aliyah. So, but in the lecture you said the 3rd Aliyah. I said the 6th Aliyah has all the Aliyot in it. All the Sgulot of all the Aliyot and the 6th Aliyah. You have to understand. Why? Because the 6th Aliyah is Tikkun HaBrit. All the bracha is going to come to you if you have a damage. Bechor, if I put over here, everything you want, but you have a hole on the bottom, it's going to help or no?
А если что, если сам ваталист?
Huh?
А если он сам ваталист и шестой алят берет?
He's making tikkunim. He's
And the
correcting
tikkun-
his mistake, of
How
course.
much is that?
Of course. That's why all the time, Rosh Yeshiva, we used to go to 6th Aliyah. No matter what million is sitting in the crowd, they used to buy it for the Rosh Yeshiva. Always used to go 6th Aliyah. Because you understood the value of that. Arizal says, what's the Aliyah I go every week? 6th Aliyah. Arizal did Batalis before?
No.
And he was still going 6th Aliyah every week. הוא מסיים מערכו, לכן אל תטמע, says the רב חיים ויטל, don't have questions, אם תראה אנשים שנדבק בהם סטרה אחרה, אם היותם הולכים דרך הישרה, כי הרי חבריו של רבי עקיבא, אלישע בן אבויה, he says, imagine who was Elisha ben Avuya? Huh? Elisha ben Avuya was a big person or no? The friend of Rabbi Akiva in studying Torah, Bechor, not a friend hi-bye, studying together with Rabbi Akiva, Elisha ben Avuya will. Says Ben Zoma, Ben Azai,
אחר?
אחר. They were all friends, he says, רב חיים ויטל. כי על ידי שם קדוש וייחודים שלושתם נדבקו בהם סטרה אחרה. He says, הגם שהיו חכמים גדולים, even they were such a big rabbis, still the demons can latch to on a person if he's not going to protect himself. You can be the biggest rabbi in the world, especially if you're not the biggest rabbi. How much more you exposed?
So how do you protect?
So that's a don't go there.
Don't go.
It says whenever you're in your territory, they have no rights to come to you, unless you're doing certain wrong things. But whenever you go to their territory, you come to our territory. It's like you're going to Hamas right now.
Also, you said passing by, you don't know, you pass by.
Yeah, if
How
you
far?
go through the territory.
How far?
He says 400.
Четыре.
If you go to the cemetery, the whole
6
cemetery.
feet.
Somebody told me also that they were able to catch on the camera demons walking in the
A Tesla, yeah.
in the Tesla it was, yeah?
Yeah.
GPS?
So what,
That
driving
the
is also
camera,
a problem?
our eye cannot see certain things
Yeah.
Rabbi,
The
driving is
sensor of
also
the
a
Tesla
problem?
through the cemetery.
was
Sometimes you go...
Jackie Robinson, you're driving to a cemetery.
I'm not, Bechor, I told you a million times, in my classes you never mention rabbis' names. Because then it's going to become politics. Whatever people do, he goes for probably mitzvah of burial people. We said for mitzvah, Harizal says, I hope he's not going to harm you. Alevai, that he should not harm you.
Some roads are in between, in the middle.
Okay, we're continuing here, let me finish this. נמצא מכל האמור. דלא מבעיה שיזהר שלא להיכנס או לעבור דרך בית קברות של גויים או ראשי ישראל. Where is it more dangerous, he says? People that they buried, they were not shomer mitzvot. And this answer your tzaddikim, kivrei tzaddikim. When a person wants to go to Rebbe Milubavitch, right? It says by places that there is tzaddikim buried, he said they are linked to their origin. They're not karet. Rebbe Milubavitch, other tzaddikim in Eretz Israel, in America. It says the neshamot that they are linked, it says they don't have karet issue. So therefore they have no also damage issue. When a person is going next to cemetery, that there are reshaim buried over there, didn't keep Shabbat, didn't eat kasher, wife didn't go to mikveh, anas skromna niya zivales nidaboch, didn't go mothers go to mixed parties. Hashem erachem. Люди думают это игрушка. Rabbi, I went to a mixed party. Shkunam. You know what you did to your neshama? 400 or 500 people went against Hashem. You were part of that? You think, Rabbi, бизнес же идет, дети растут, Барух Hashem, бизнес. Все нормально. Физически все нормально. А духовно что? You have to ask yourself. But everybody's doing that, so what? Everybody damaged their neshamot means that you should also damage. If everybody cheating on their wives, you should also be part of them. Everybody does it, Rabbi. Once you have money, it comes with it. That's what some people think.
Is that what you hear?
Oh, if I would record what I hear, Hashem Erachem will be on these people.
Where's the source of mixed dancing?
Mixed dancing? Torah Masechet Sukkah, page 52. Open in English. Bring him. Sukkah 52. Amud Aleph. Gemara says that when in Bet HaMikdash, Am Yisrael were not allowed, even in Bet HaMikdash. Once were there Halil, Perika Halil over there, when celebrated Simchat Bet HaShoeva, Gemara says that there will be one day a big funeral. There will be one day a big funeral. The biggest funeral ever in the world of Mashiach ben Yosef. And the Gemara says, Mishpachat Bet David levad, un shehem levad. The men of Mishpacha of Bet David will be separated. From there, women will be separated. The Gemara says, what will be that funeral? It says the death of Mashiach ben Yosef. All the world is going to cry over his death. And the Torah describes, the prophet describes how is the sitting will be over there, arrangements. And they said men separated and women separated. Says the Gemara, if you, for him in English, 52. Says the Gemara, if whenever where there is the burial, sadness, tears, everybody are crying. Nobody is about thinking about women right now. And still the Torah says, men separated, women separated. Now in Bet HaMikdash that they were celebrating Simchat Bet HaShoeva, that Yetzer Hara is existing, and they are dancing, and they are in a good mood. How much more so men has to be separated, and women has to be separated. That's why it's very wrong when people, Chas v'Shalom Bechor, tanzuyut. Da utra me tanzuyim. Johnny Chalfesh, kente tanzuyim. Who are you dancing with, Johnny Dedesh? You're burning your neshamot. Zafra umriosh. Čo перед Богом скажешь? Tell me, please. Да?
Ну пошел, скажу, туда.
Значит, где все пошли, ты тоже пойди туда. Все. Наверху, где там они все. אלא אפילו אם הולך להתפלל שם על קבר של איזה צדיק, שזה לכאורה הכשר מצווה להידבק בבורא, אף על פי כן הוא בסכנה משום נפשות הרשעים אשר שם. So if the tzaddik is buried next to רשעים, don't go to this tzaddik. You at risk of these Reshaim, Neshamot, demons latches on you, Chas v'shalom. Yak tzaddik uchadru. So even to go to tzaddik is a mitzvah. He said, this is not enough of a mitzvah that will protect you from the demons around, from the Reshaim. Rabbi Milubavitch has Baruch Hashem walls.
But not all the way, though.
All the way.
There's
To
a
walk there.
separation.
All the way.
No,
That's a Kohanim are allowed to go.
can go there.
When you lighted the thing over there in the
Right,
side,
right.
it becomes separated.
Separate,
There's
yeah.
no more gates over there.
No, yeah. No, there is gate. No, there is gate.
It's open.
It's open this area, but that the other two sections on the two sides, they have also and second time gates. These gates and those gates are disconnected,
Right.
but they have their own gates. They're also closed, and that's called mechitza, according to halacha. That even kohanim are allowed to walk through. If it would not be allowed to walk through, the kohanim means the tum'ah penetrates. Will not be allowed for them to walk.
Значит, нет проблем туда ходить?
No problem, because that's the probably one of the only tzaddikim we have around that they're buried in a place that you from the street to them there is no neshamot of reshaim in between.
Where?
Rabbi Milubavitch.
Rabbi, можно вот так идет?
Правильно, но там стенки есть, эти бордюры есть. Когда бордюр есть, тума cannot go through.
У меня пару вопросов практических. Я действительно путаюсь. Вот Тиша Б'Ав. Каждый бухарский идет, родительский день говорят.
Yeah, it's asur.
Вот я вот, объясните, пожалуйста.
Wrong, Johnny Khalfesh, wrong. This is wrong. You see what it says over here.
Wow.
If that person's father, mother didn't keep Shabbat, didn't eat kasher, didn't go to mikveh, znaya, niznaya, doesn't matter. They got karet on their neshamot. If you go to a place like this, what the result says to you? All the demons are over there. Kamutu dabrojelish. Person fly, I want to go to Samarkand. Join the day. What do you have in Samarkand? Bovo mamsim. Why do you have to do what? All spend all this time, money, no minyan, no kashrut, no Shabbat, no everything chop out like this, and on top of it, you go over there. There is no people that bury the Shomer Shabbat. Picture on the graves. Можно picture на гроб ставить или нет? No. So where are you going? Spending $3,000, $4,000, spending days of work, going from prayer, going from Torah studies. Куда ты идешь? Does it worth the investment?
Там есть меня, там кашер, все есть.
А люди, которые похоронены, все кашер?
Нет.
And what the result tells us? If there are people that they buried not kasher, don't dare going such a places. Это люди не знают работа и много боятся рассказывать это тоже. That's why I said, listen, I'm going to come today. You ask me. I started looking in the books. I said, I have to find the sources so people will not say, hey, Rabbi сам сказал. The travel agent didn't pay him.
У нас с вами такой проблемы нет.
That's why I brought over here on the table all the sources. Whoever wants to test where I read it, I told you the pages, and you can go and check.
Rabbi, half of it.
צא ולמד, we want to finish רבותיי, שיעשה את הזקון שסברים. צא ולמד ממה שכתב המערך ושאר הכוונות, שער רוח הקודש, דף י"ב, שם מביא סדר תיקון למבזה אדם אחר פטירתו, רק שאינו זוכר מי הוא, אבל יודע שהוא קבור בבית קברות פלוני. Listen what he says, there was one man, had a lot of problems before. Why? He hurt one Jewish person that died. He hurt him, he had a problem with him. And he didn't get a chance to ask him for forgiveness, and that person died. This person goes to Shamayim, the Shamayim judging that alive person. He had problems, he goes to Arizal, he says, Arizal, John, upside down. I don't know what to do. Wife is not happy, she's sick, children are problems, business goes bad, health problem, everything upside down. What's wrong with me? I pray, I learn, I give tzedakah, I do everything the right way. What's wrong with me? Says the Arizal, you had a problem that whenever you were alive many years ago, there was another person alive that you hurt. What should I do? So I'm going to give you right now a certain tikkun. You should do this and this. And that neshama that has a problem with you will forgive you and all the problems will be solved. Listen what he says. Amar lo, he says, he writes, Amar li she'elech lebet ha'chaim. Go, he says, to the cemetery. Asher hayu sham kvurim kol hametim shel ha'ir ha'ih. He says, who was that person? He said, I don't remember. He said, go to the cemetery where all the people buried over there. He said, go around the cemetery. It was a big cemetery. And make sure you always will be 6 feet away, 4 אמות, from the cemeteries, from the burial sites. כדי שלא יתאחזו עמי אותם הרוחות הנמצאים שם, הנעשים מן הטיפין בעלי קרי, הנקראים נגעי בני האדם. that in order for one of those demons should not latch on you, once you went to the territory within their 6 feet, Arba Amot, they have the permission from Hashem to latch on you. It says this guy had to do tikkun. Он должен себя исправить, ошибку, он обидел там кого-то. He doesn't go there for fun, he doesn't go for ziorat, he doesn't go for all these things. He goes there for the purpose of asking forgiveness from that person. And Arizal says, be careful. Go around, but make sure you're not going to be within 6 feet to the burial sites. Once you went within 6 feet, they have the right to latch on you.
Что потом? Я понял, почему Палчиш.
ולמען האמת יש קצת מקום לעיין כמה אחוז שם המשיך. ואל תתעכב שם ברוח ראשונה פן נדבקו והתחזו בך נגעי בני אדם. So Chopatom Bechor is telling you that's very dangerous to go to cemetery. He says even when you go to Levaya, Zohar says you have to cover your forehead.
Вот вы говорили, он мне рассказал. Расскажите, пожалуйста, это очень.
He said when a person makes avera, it's written on his forehead. Кого-то обидел, лашон ора про кого-то сказал, у кого-то деньги взял, не заплатил. Whatever averot you have done, it's written on the forehead.
Levaya is burial.
Yeah. It says when you go to Levaya, the Satan is over there. The moment he sees what's written on your forehead, he says, it's time to hurt that person also that has that on his forehead. And Kitrug, Chas v'Shalom, is arousing against that person. Prosecutions. Смотри, что написано. He did this, he did that. Не дай Бог, удар пойдет. Не дай Бог, чтобы не стало. So what do we do whenever we go to a cemetery for purpose of burial, which is a kosher purpose? Cover your forehead. Put your head like this, put your warm head like that, whatever you want. Kalpok Bukhaski Vazmi Bukhor. Whatever it is, make sure you're going to go in the cemetery. It says when you need to go, be careful. It says cover your forehead. Also, don't look at the women, he says, whenever you're over there. Even your relative, your daughter, your wife, somebody close to you, your mother, let's say, do not look, it says, where the women are. Where the women are, it says, the Satan benehem, veyesh li reshut le'azik, and I have the permission, he says, at that moment to hurt. This is open, Rabotai. How lucky we are. We have all these books telling it this to us. All the secrets of the world we know. If we wouldn't have that, Bechor, imagine how much exposure of danger we could have be exposed, Chas v'Shalom. So Baruch Hashem, we have Torah, we have Arizal that reveal to us all the secrets. How much Rabotai we have to connect. Huh? Я сказал pictures. You're not allowed to have pictures. I told it to you 1 trillion times. A person that puts a picture, his relatives suffers until no end. Galvari Yosef says that it's so bad to be buried next to a person that has to put a picture that even the neighbor suffers from the picture of the person next to him.
In your house, really?
No, in the cemetery. Relative passed away, Papa, Mama, Bobo, Bibi, doesn't matter who. It says the relative, the neighbors of this person. He has a picture, he suffers definitely. He says even the neighbors will suffer from him. And I told you there was a guy, Elios Suleimanov in Forest Hills. His father, a relative, comes to him in a dream. What on night, Ivo? Elios Suleimanov. Это Rabbi Itzchakov, Malkiel Itzchakov. Both of them and another person, same night, have the dream. Same night. It was shocking. Few times. One of their relatives, his father, Malkiel Itzchakov's father, is buried next to a person in Yerushalayim. Next to him, one Bukharian guy bought that plot. He died. He came over there recently. And the Bukharian people put a picture. It says that same night his father came to him in the dream.
David Priv.
Priable, да? He comes, he says, I'm suffering in Olam Haba. Why are you suffering? You tzaddik, Baruch Hashem, you shomer mitzvot. He says, they're punishing me. I suffer in Olam Haba. Why? Next to me, my neighbor put a picture on his tombstone. Next to me, my name, Ivo. Go, he says, make everything possible, remove that picture. He calls the daughter or the son, I don't remember, of that family. They said, don't ask. That yesterday night, my father came to my dream when we put that picture. And Elios Suleimanov told us that his relative also came to his dream, everything in the same night.
Neighbors, all the neighbors.
All the neighbors.
Рабай, может, вы рассказывали, но я извиняюсь, вы не могли бы пояснить, почему нельзя ставить фотографии?
So Rav Yosef says that the image of a person is only allowed to be placed not in where the neshama is. Neshama is when a person, I told you, passes away. His neshama wants to ascend, his nefesh stays on the body. What is the neshama does upstairs? Praise. And praises. Praying and praises Hashem. Praying for their relatives, for their children, for the domot, for the kelim, for their grandchildren. It says, Bukhari also say it, whenever somebody passes away, they say, Josh Beganeden Bosha, Betfilo Bosha. Betefilo Bosha. What are they doing over there? Tefilo. That's the saying that we all say. What are the neshamot doing upstairs? Playing Sheshubesh? What are they doing over there? Nardi, Shachmat, what do you think they're doing over there? Abechor, Shishlar, Dular, what do you think they're doing upstairs? They're only praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and praising, please Hashem, my neshamot, my children, save them. Hamas should not catch them. Problems, virus should not catch them. Losses should not come to them. They're all constantly praying. Now, says Avad Yosef, if there'll be a picture in front of a person that is praying, is he allowed to pray or no? Huh? A person built a synagogue, he donated $1 billion to build a synagogue. He asking from the rabbi, do whatever you want. One request I have. My father's picture on the front. That's all I'm asking. You built 100 floors, synagogue, Bet Knesset, Bet Midrash. I have all the money in the world. One request. And the front picture of my father. Can we allow this or no? We're going to deny the $1 billion. What are we doing? Says Halacha, you're not allowed to. What if they build already the synagogue with a picture? Can we pray in such a synagogue that has picture? No. So it says, whenever a person puts picture to his father and mother's cemetery, the neshama wants to pray. Where the neshama located? Right on top over there, where the nefesh is. The neshama wants to pray. Comes the son, pays top dollar, and puts a picture. Chotish deal. You like the mouth of your father, of your mother, that wanted to pray for you, wanted to bring good to you, and you just block those prayers from happening.
So put the picture in the back, maybe?
Because they are over there, they pray. If they pray and in front of them there is a picture, are you allowed to pray? That's why it's a terrible, Rabotai, custom, minhag, который от русских к нам пришло. And you know, Aka Yosef, if you look at the old cemetery of Bukhara, none of them had pictures. Only the recent ones they have. The last 60, 70 years people, they have pictures. Вот это Советский Союз из-за него все стало. If you look at the old cemeteries, go to the old cemeteries, people that came and said, Rabbi, nobody has pictures over there. Where it came from, Sovietsky Soюz, from the Russian people, from the Goyim people. That's how you have to. Right. That's why Rabotai, Rav Yosef says, even if it was done, mitzvah to take away the picture, break the picture. Вот Бехор Баруch Hashem сделал правильно. Поставил клейку такую из few relatives, поставил красивую такую picture, не picture, а клейка, заклейка, with different way. This way the picture is covered. You didn't have to break it and make a balagan like that. Заодно Бехор не только себе сделал, еще другим ребятам тоже посоветовал Баруch Hashem. И так всем работать вы должны посоветовать. Everybody has to know about this problem and fix this mistake. And no more Rabotai pictures on the gravesites, and no more people going to the cemetery unless it's for burial needs. In such end, make sure when you go over there, before that you go to mikveh, and you cover your forehead not to get any problems. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hanan Merakash Omer. Stop the recording. שנאמר אדוני חפש למען צדקו